Stories of Christmas Songs. I Wonder as I Wander. The discovery of this Christmas folk song fits well with the ballad's title. For years, John Jacob Niles wandered around the Appalachian Mountains in search of the origins of songs. A composer and singer, Niles was born in Louisville, Kentucky on April 28, 1892. Inspired by an old black field worker who sang spirituals learned in his youth, at 25, Niles penned his first folk song, Go Away From My Window. That initial offering and its positive reception inspired the young man's passion for folk music, a passion that would eventually become Niles' life quest. The real world kept Niles from that quest for some time. To make ends meet, John worked for an adding machine company, then served as a pilot during World War I. It was during his days in Europe that he first put together an impressive catalog of American folk songs, begging every soldier he met to share a song. Niles wrote down the lyrics and memorized the music of each one. After the war, armed with a suitcase filled with folk music, Niles returned home and continued on his education at the Cincinnati Conservatory. When he graduated, he moved to Chicago, where he sang with the Lyric Opera and performed on Westinghouse Radio. In 1925, Niles moved to New York, where he not only sang on radio and stage, but also began to publish music collections of both his original songs and the folk songs he had gathered during the war. By 1940, he was a recording artist on the RCA label and was recognized as one of the nation's top opera singers. His two most successful original works were Black is the Color of My True Love's Hair and Jesus, Jesus, Rest Your Head. Money and fame had made Niles the toast of New York. Yet, even when he received standing ovations for singing the best in classical music in front of crowds, dressed in the finest clothing, backstage, the man sang folk ditties. There was something about simple American music that just wouldn't leave him alone. Deciding he was more historian than performer, Niles moved home to Kentucky, and with the advent of radio and the automobile, rural music and traditions that went with it were quickly fading. So in his beloved Appalachian Mountains, Niles spent a good portion of the remainder of his life traveling from town to town looking for undiscovered folk songs. The library of work he uncovered is one of the most important in music history. One song in particular would become a monument to Niles' years of hard work and a testament to the power of inspired creativity. On a cold December day in North Carolina, Niles observed people from a poor community going about their daily lives. From his own experience, Niles knew that just a few hundred miles away in New York, people crowded the gaily decorated city streets. Stores could not hold all the eager shoppers armed with lists, and holiday music blared from long rows of loudspeakers. Yet, in this village, he could hear the sound of snow crunching under feet and spy children in ragged clothes looking longingly into windows where a few small toys were displayed. It was as if the modern world had never found this unspoiled place. While Niles took in the pastoral scene that surrounded him, a solitary voice beckoned ever so faintly. Searching the street, his eyes honed in on a small girl sitting by herself on a bench. Unaware she had an audience, the child was softly singing a song Niles had never heard. When she finished, the curious songwriter reached into his pocket and he pulled out a pencil and tablet. Approaching the little girl, he introduced himself, sat down, and then asked about the song. All she knew about it was that her mother had taught it to her, like her grandmother had taught it to her mother before her. When asked to sing it again, the red-cheeked youngster smiled and quietly repeated the ballad's short verses. The song, which the girl called I Wonder as I Wander, haunted Niles. Long after the child disappeared into the evening, the man continued to study the words. They were unlike any he had ever uncovered in his long search for folk music. Deeply spiritual, incredibly thoughtful, yet obviously composed by someone of little means and education, the lyrics embraced the joy and wonder of Christmas, but also lingered on the sacrifice of a child grown into a man that died on a cross. The soaring happiness combined with unparalleled sorrow, seemed to share the elements of Negro spirituals with the irony of Irish ballads. Both the words and the music were perfect, simple, direct, and inspired. Even a master songwriter like Niles couldn't imagine improving on them. Where did it come from, he wondered, as he returned home. When Niles brought the song to prominence just before the beginning of World War II, he tried to capture the spirit of the child who had first shared the song with him. Even as he awed audiences with his discovery, the humble singer recognized that his version was not nearly as powerful as the original. For years, Niles sang "I Wonder as I Wander" and continued to dig into the mystery of the unrecognized genius who composed the carol. It was a quest he pursued until his death in 1980. Yet, he could never trace the song back farther than the girl in North Carolina, a child he never found again. It was as if the little one had been an angel, perhaps, sent to deliver a message that embraced the wonder of the Savior's birth and sacrifice. And then the angel vanished. Because of a chance meeting between an unknown child, if in fact it was a child, and a man who spent his life wandering America in search of music, the world gained an unforgettable Christmas ballad that has never ceased to cause those who hear it to wonder as they wander. I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. For poor ornery people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky. When Mary birthed Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with wise men and farmers and shepherds and all, but high from God's heaven a star's light did fall, and the promise of ages it then did recall. If Jesus had wanted for any wee thing, a star in the sky or a bird on the wing, or all of God's angels in heaven for to sing, he surely could have it, 'cause he was the King. The sky was dark, the air was chill, a winter wind was blowing. I breathed a prayer, climbed the hill through silent falling snow. One star shining in the night, the glow of holy light. One bright star, one song, angelic lullaby, choruses on high, one true song. A tiny baby in a manger, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Hope of man, this gentle stranger, our sacrifice for sin. One dream, timeless for all time, serenity sublime, one sweet dream. A tiny baby in a manger, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Hope of man, this gentle stranger, our sacrifice for sin. A tiny baby in a manger, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Hope of man, this gentle stranger, our sacrifice for sin. One star shining in the night, the glow of holy light. One bright star, one star shining in the night, the glow of holy light. One bright star, one star shining in the night, the glow of holy light. One bright star. The sky was dark, the air was chill, a winter wind was blowing. I breathed a prayer, climbed down the hill through silent falling snow.